The Nomad was falling out of the sky. Captain Rex Maddox found himself floating. Floating was bad. If he was floating, that meant artificial gravity was offline. The systems that controlled artificial gravity were also in charge of the inertial dampeners. So, inertial dampening was offline too. Losing those functions wouldn't be a problem if they were just drifting in the void. But that's not what they were doing. The bridge lights were out, but there was plenty of light filtering through the viewports. The light was coming from a terraformed moon, a moon that was getting bigger at an alarming rate. "Grit!" Maddox shouted. "What the hell just happened?"
The Nomad has lost power, Captain.
Grit's voice was its usual monotone. The AI had a way of sounding soothing and sarcastic at the same time.
We are caught in Volkvar 9's gravity well. We will make impact in 4 minutes, 13 seconds.
Grit was a floating head. The head was roughly spherical, made out of a white material that looked like plastic but wasn't. A black faceplate on the front of the head displayed pixelated eyes, and a mouth made out of yellow lights. "Well, get us uncaught," Maddox ordered. If the ship was in a gravity well, why was he still floating? Ah, crap. He wasn't floating. He was falling at the same speed as his beloved ship. The Nomad was shaped like a bullet with wings. Its hull was a patchwork of scuffs, dents, and mismatched armor panels. Guns of every size and description sprouted from its patchwork hull. Everything from lasers and fusion cannons to railguns. There was even a single, honest-to-money, iron culverin. The culverin was from an 18th century pirate ship. Rex was pretty sure he'd never use it, but his mechanic had insisted. The Nomad was the best and most beautiful ship in the Big Empty. Rex would kick the ass of anyone who said otherwise.
I just told you there's no power.
Grit reminded him.
If there's no power, there's nothing I can do. I'm an AI, not a space wizard.
Are we going to crash again?
Siraven asked.
Because I don't want to crash again.
The captain turned to look at his lieutenant. Siraven was floating very close. She was also upside down. All Rex could see were shapely legs and a backside that would haunt his dreams. Siraven's void suit was an Astrius model. It was dark blue. The Astrius was the best armor made by man, but it was so form-fitting it might as well be spandex. It didn't help that the only thing beneath it was a string bikini. The lieutenant was a Xana. Xana looked like pale blue humans. They were religiously opposed to interspecies relationships. Rex did his best to respect that, but it didn't change the fact that Siraven was the most gorgeous woman he'd ever seen. He'd been pretty good about staying professional, but you'd have to be a monk not to notice. A blind monk. "We're not gonna crash," Rex insisted irritably. "Why are you talking like we crash all the time?"
Because we crash all the time,
the lieutenant told him simply. "We do not," Rex objected.
We crashed into a space station 2 weeks ago,
Arlen Tov reminded him. Tov was a Tenawan, a roughly humanoid sapient lizard. Tov's Astrius had been customized to accommodate his long tail, and his helmet had been lengthened so his toothy snout would fit. Tov's armor was black, and Tanawa spoke with a measured, almost poetic cadence. He used his tail to pull himself back to his seat and strapped in. "That one doesn't count," Rex told him. "We did that on purpose." He activated his armor's comms. "Dalton, what the hell happened to our engines?"
"The possibility drive shorted them out,"
came the reply. Max Dalton was the Nomad's mechanic. His voice was a rumbling basso.
"Just like I told you it would."
"Then get the backups online," Maddox ordered. "We're gonna hit a moon in 2 minutes."
"The backups are fried too,"
said the mechanic. "What do you mean the backups are fried?" Rex looked out the viewport. That moon was getting closer awfully fast.
"The possibility drive uses an astronomical amount of power, Captain,"
Max explained.
"I had to engage the backup generators, reserve power, everything. It's all down."
Maddox swore. "Forget the reserves then. Get the main reactor up and running."
"What do you think I'm trying to do?"
Dalton grunted. The captain heard a clanging noise filtering through the comms.
"I told you this was a bad idea, sir. That damned alien engine's nothing but trouble.
Don't insult my possibility drive, Max, Maddox chided. You don't know what I had to go through to get it.
Yes, I do, sir.
Dalton rumbled.
I was there.
More clanging ensued. Just get us online, Max, the captain ordered. You're embarrassing us in front of our new clients. He watched the moon get closer. Also, we're all gonna die. The moon was big enough to pass for a planet. It basically was. Vulkvar 9 was the largest moon orbiting a gas giant. The gas giant was massive, over 90,000 kilometers wide. Vulkvar 9 had been a lifeless hunk of rock at one point, but it had been terraformed. Now it was a pretty place, full of clouds and oceans and farmland. Captain Maddox didn't want to crash into a farm planet. It was an embarrassing way to die.
Max warned you not to use the drive, Captain.
Grit spoke up.
More importantly, I warned you. We'd crash a lot less if you listened to me.
We're not gonna crash, Maddox insisted a second time. Besides, we had to use it. The place was halfway across the galaxy. The possibility drive's the only way to get here in time. The possibility drive was a piece of tech Maddox had pulled from an ancient alien derelict. It allowed instant travel to any point in the galaxy, maybe farther if you had the nav data. Even Siraven wasn't sure how it worked, but that was all right. The drive pulled nav data from the Nomad's computer and took them there. That was all Maddox needed to know.
In time for what?
Grit asked mildly.
In time to crash into a farm moon?
We're not gonna crash! The captain almost shouted this time. Damn it, Max, where's my reactor?
I'm working on it,
said the mechanic. The clanging intensified. I swear to money, Max, Maddox warned. If we crash and die, I'm gonna fire you so fast!
If we crash and die,
Tov pointed out.
Max Dalton will have bigger problems than job security.
Will everyone shut up?
Max griped.
I'm trying to. Ha! Got it!
One last clang rang in through the comms. The bridge lights came on. Artificial gravity took hold, dumping the captain on his ass.
Percussive maintenance for the win.
Power restored.
Grit needlessly reported.
I am slowing our descent and setting course for the rendezvous point.
Percussive maintenance?
Siravan asked. He hit the reactor till it worked, Captain Maddox explained. He stood up, walking back to his chair with all the dignity he could muster. Probably with a wrench.
A crowbar, sir,
Max corrected.
The wrench wasn't cutting it.
How does hitting it make it work?
Tov asked.
I don't know.
Dalton admitted over the comms.
It just does.
Humans have been using percussive maintenance for thousands of years, the captain explained. No one really thought to ask why.
Humans?
Siravan muttered. She shook her head. The Nomad touched down on a landing platform in the center of the moon's biggest city. The city had seen better days. The buildings were built of resin rather than metal, reminding Rex of extra-large beehives. A lot of the hives had collapsed, and the rest looked like they could fall over at any moment. Rex guessed that the client hadn't been joking about his species being at stake. Max, Tov, Siraven, and the captain disembarked. They were still in their void armor. It made them a colorful bunch. Tov and Maddox wore the same kind of armor as Siraven. Tov's was black, the captain's was green. Max wore an old VTAC suit. The VTAC was the basic bitch of armored void suits, just a Kevlar nano weave with an air filter. It was also an ugly neon yellow. The crew was heavily armed, but they took their helmets off and tried to look friendly. Siraven and Tov were from respectable species, but most sapients were afraid of humans. Maddox hoped the welcoming party wouldn't get jumpy. The welcoming party consisted of 14 Vanvari. The Vanvari were bug people. They had long abdomens with 6 legs each. Attached to an abdomen was a vaguely humanoid torso with 4 arms. The arms ended in 3-fingered hands. The Vanvari had big heads with wicked-looking mandibles and 6 bulging compound eyes. They looked scary as hell, but they were reputed to be very nice people. 12 of the Vanvari were hulking 8-foot monsters carrying guns, some kind of warrior caste. They were escorting a pair of smaller yellow bugs that had data pads. The yellow ones were short, barely 4 feet tall. An acrid sulfurous smell accompanied the bugmen. Maddox wondered if it would be rude to put his helmet back on. He decided it probably would. "Hello there," Captain Maddox said to the bugs. He sketched a bow. "We're the Xeno Zappers." He pointed at himself. "My call sign is Razor." He pointed at Tov, Dalton, and Siraven. "That's Shadow, Tank, and Brains. It's nice to meet you." The Vanvari spoke using a mix of body motion, clicks, and pheromones. Fortunately, their translators were top-notch. Maddox heard the words in plain English. The 2 yellow ones spoke in unison.
"Greetings, bringers of thunder. Our kind do not use designations, but you may refer to us as administration. We did not expect you to arrive so quickly. Our call for aid was only sent an hour ago."
"You said it was an emergency," Maddox told them. "I figured it would be better not to wait."
"Most impressive,"
the 2 replied.
"We believed the tales of the bringers of thunder were exaggerated. It is relieving to see they might not be."
"If anything, the stories undersell us," Maddox assured them. "The Xeno Zappers are the best damn troubleshooters in the galaxy. When there's trouble,
We shoot it.
Dalton finished with a grin.
"Yes,"
Said the bugs.
"the stories say you are beings of great chaos and extreme violence. We would not normally treat with such dangerous creatures, but these are desperate times."
The yellow ones froze right after they said that. Then their antenna waved wildly.
"We mean no offense. Please do not be offended."
"Well, we aren't," the captain assured them. He scratched his head. "So, do you want us to follow you, or are you gonna tell us what's going on right here?" The 2 released a smell like rotten apples. The translator gave their words an apologetic tone.
"Please forgive our rudeness, but we did not expect you so soon. We do not have a meeting place prepared, and we have not synthesized refreshments that you could digest. Would it be acceptable if we spoke here?"
"We'll be fine." Rex gave the Vanvari his friendliest smile. They really did seem like nice people. "Your message made it sound like this is urgent. Why don't you tell us what you need?"
"Of course."
The smell changed to dead skunk. The bugs sounded relieved.
"Thank you for heeding our call, bringers of thunder. Our need is great. Our world is threatened. We ask for great violence."
"Violence against what?" Rex made his voice as patient and gentle as he could. The Vanvari were trying to hide it, but they were nervous as hell. "Well, what seems to be the problem?"
"Violence against the World Killer,
said the 2.
an eater of worlds that has invaded our home. We ask you to kill the Prim Ulo Crooks."
"The what?" Rex frowned. The name didn't ring any bells.
Prim Ulu Crooks.
Arlen Tov leaned forward.
Are you certain?
"Yes,
Said the 2.
the World Killer is here. It shakes the ground."
What's a Prim Ulu Crooks?
Dalton asked.
The Prim Ulu Crooks is an interstellar predator.
Tov told him.
I believe the humans refer to them as gravity worms.
Oh! Captain Maddox took another look at the damaged city. These people were screwed. Oh, damn.
Am I the only one who doesn't know what that is?
Max asked. Gravity worms are a shipping hazard, the captain explained. They live in the vacuum and they can manipulate gravity to move themselves around. They can grow up to 1,000 miles long. Worms usually hang out in asteroid belts, but they'll come out if they detect a power source. They see spaceships as electromagnetic candy.
That's what they are in the final stage of their life cycle.
Siraven clarified.
Prim Ulu Karuk start out by infesting and consuming planetary bodies.
She addressed the yellow Vanvari.
How far along is it?
She asked.
What stage?
"Stage 3!
Said the Vanvari.
Stage 3?
Siraven gasped.
Why haven't you evacuated?
We cannot!
The two gave off a smell like old bacon grease.
This world is the only place left we can grow the Vitavica!
Vitavica?
Tov asked.
A plant from our homeworld.
The two explained.
Without Vitavica, we cannot make royal jelly. Our homeworld was destroyed in the Great War. If we lose Volkvar 9, we will not be able to produce more queens. Our species will die out in a generation.
Let me see if I got this straight, said Maddox. You've got a Stage 3 gravity worm tunneling around down there, and you need us to kill it.
Yes!
The antennae of the yellow bugs drooped. The old grease smell got stronger.
We know it is impossible, but still we ask. You are our only hope.
Okay, Maddox nodded firmly. We'll do it.
You will?
The two perked up.
The others all told us it could not be done. How can you sound so certain?
We're the Xeno Zappers, Maddox told them. The impossible is what we do. The Nomad left the city 10 minutes later. Maddox convened a meeting in the ship's kitchen.
We are in orbit.
Grit reported.
I'm running scans to find the creature.
The AI face lights made a concerned frowny face.
This is a bad idea, Captain.
I concur,
said Arlen Tov.
The standard protocol when a Prim Ulu Crux is found is to evacuate the planet. Then the world is launched into the nearest star.
A gravity worm can be killed if it's found at Stage 1.
Siravan added.
Maybe even Stage 2 in some cases. But Stage 3?
She shook her head.
It's never been done.
What makes these things so dangerous?
Dalton asked.
Several things,
said Tov.
Firstly, Prim Ulu Crux are burrowers. It will be at least a kilometer underground. Its body is dense enough to shrug off most ship-mounted weapons, and it will simply burrow deeper if attacked. Prim Ulu Crux are highly aggressive.
Tov continued.
A Stage 3 will be big enough to swallow the Nomad whole, and it's strong enough to burrow through solid rock at 40 kilometers an hour. It will be even faster in loose soil. Its body will recover from an extraordinary amount of trauma.
If you cut it in half,
Siravan added,
you end up with 2 of them. A Prim Ulu Crux will regrow as long as a third of its body survives. It can alter gravity near itself, cause earthquakes, even fly if it's lured above ground. There have been hundreds of attempts to kill Stage 3's infesting planets, and all have failed.
Well, we haven't tried it yet, said Maddox. He thought for a moment. I'm guessing poison won't work?
It's been tried,
said Siravan.
They can metabolize almost anything. Pathogens are out too. The Kundi spent a century trying to infect one with custom-built disease with no results.
Okay, Maddox fetched himself a beer from the fridge. You said it can shrug off ship cannons. Is that an armor thing, or is the inside like that too?
A little of both,
said Siravan.
It's heavily armored, but the insides are dense as well. Prim Ulu Crux are evolved to live in space and eat rocks. They get denser as they grow. Once it hits Stage 4, it will swim through the mantle and start eating the planet's core.
But it's still softer on the inside, right? Maddox turned to Dalton. What do you think, Tank? Can you make us a bomb? Antimatter, maybe?
No way, sir.
Dalton said firmly.
Antimatter is unstable as hell. Only an idiot would try to make a bomb out of the stuff.
We've got antimatter torpedoes, Maddox pointed out.
And they're so loaded with safety features and fail-safes that only an idiot would mess with them.
Dalton countered.
We can use torpedoes if you want, but I ain't making no bomb.
Fair enough, said the captain. I guess we can just fly down there and shove a torpedo down its throat.
That is a quick way to die.
Grit spoke up.
The Nomad cannot maneuver underground. The Prim Ulu Crux will eat us. If we do manage to land a torpedo, the shockwave will collapse whatever tunnel we are in.
Grit shook its robot head.
Honestly, Captain, sometimes I can't believe you survived this long.
Sometimes I can't believe I haven't deleted you yet, Maddox returned. Lila's a better pilot than you anyway.
She is not.
Grit was scandalized.
Lila is a sex bot. You take that back.
The solution is simple.
Arlen Tov spoke up.
If we cannot bring the nomad to the creature, we must bring the creature to the nomad.
Lure it above ground?
Siraven frowned.
It's been attempted. Preem Ulu Kruk sees starships as food, but I doubt we could tempt it away when it's already gorging itself on the planet.
They're aggressive, right?
Dalton pointed out.
Maybe we just need to piss it off.
Piss it off how?
Asked Siraven.
If we shoot it from orbit, it'll just burrow deeper underground.
So we won't shoot it from orbit, said the captain. The beginnings of a plan started to form. We'll go down there, make ourselves look tasty, and kick the fragger in the ass.
The Nomad won't survive underground, Captain.
Grit reminded him.
I just told you that.
The Nomad's not going, Maddox gave it a grin. We are.
We are?
Tov frowned. Then his eyes widened.
No.
Oh yeah, Maddox was smug. We're gonna go down there and hunt us a worm. It took a little while to work out the details. It took longer to prepare. Nearly 6 hours had passed by the time the crew got back together. They reconvened on the bridge. The bridge was a large, cluttered space. Several control consoles were set up haphazardly below the large viewports. There used to be a captain's chair in the middle of the room with its own console, but they'd been shagged a month ago and Maddox hadn't gotten around to replacing them yet. The walls were decorated with a mix of guns, alien knickknacks, a snack bar, and a large portrait of a derpy-looking orange cat. Rest in peace, Mr. Furry Pants.
I have located the Preem Ulu Krooks.
Grit reported. A holographic display projected out of its head.
The creature has created an extensive tunnel network 6 kilometers below the surface of Volkvar 9.
How big is it? Asked Maddox.
The specimen is just over 80 kilometers in length.
Said the AI.
I can use our fusion cannons to open a way into the tunnels, but it will take at least 9 hours to do so in any way that does not collapse them. It would be prudent to wait another 3 to let the opening cool and make sure it is stable.
Fusion cannons?
Siraven frowned.
Have you warned the Von Virage?
Of course,
Said Grit.
Evacuation times were part of my calculations. Everything within 300 kilometers of the target location will be clear before I start.
Good work, Grit, Maddox nodded. Let us know when it's open.
Max Dalton.
Tov spoke up.
I've been meaning to ask, why do you have so much rope?
The captain looked at the man. Dalton was in his VTAC. A big coil of rope was draped over his shoulder. Dalton frowned.
We're cave diving, aren't we? Why wouldn't I have rope?
Because we have jetpacks?
Tov suggested. He raised one scaly eyebrow.
You have jetpacks?
Dalton disagreed.
You have jetpacks. What I've got is rope.
Oh, right, said the captain. That reminds me. Maddox picked up the case he'd brought and tossed it to his mechanic. Happy birthday. Max caught the case. He frowned.
My birthday's 2 months from now.
And you're tickled pink that I remembered, Maddox told him. Open it. Max shrugged and set the case down on a counter next to one of the consoles. He clicked it open. He froze.
Sir, are you serious?
Dead serious, the captain told him. That's your birthday present. I'm not getting you anything else.
Captain!
Rex had just enough time to brace before the grinning mechanic swept him up in a bear hug. Captain Maddox was not a small man, but Max was 6'6" and almost 300 pounds of pure muscle. Rex found his legs dangling. His ribs creaked as Dalton squeezed him, laughing with unadulterated joy.
You're the best!
Ribs! Maddox wheezed.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Max set him down, then pounded him on the shoulders and laughed again.
My own Astreus! Do you know how long I've been saving for one of these?
Don't make a thing of it, Rex told him. I just couldn't abide a Xeno Zapper running around in that basic bitch VTAC. We got a reputation to uphold. Plus, it comes with a jetpack. You're gonna need that.
Yes, sir!
Dalton pulled out the void armor. His grin faltered.
Captain, is the armor supposed to be pink?
It's not pink, Maddox told him. It's light red.
There's another word for light red, sir.
The mechanic informed him.
It's pink.
Careful, Max, the captain warned. You don't want that gift horse to bite you.
Understood, sir.
Max laughed.
Light red it is.
He clapped the captain on the shoulder again.
Thank you, sir. Really.
Why does color matter?
Asked Siraven. Arlen Tov shrugged.
Who knows with humans?
The Nomad dropped the Xeno Zappers off next to a 30-foot hole. The hole stretched down for farther than Maddox could see. The captain noted with approval that Dalton still had his big coil of rope. Jetpack or no jetpack, no sane human went caving without rope. It just wasn't done. The crew didn't waste any time. They jumped in. Maddox and Dalton let out a whoop, but the other two stayed professionally silent. It was a long drop, almost 2 minutes. Jetpacks flared before they reached the bottom, slowing their descent. They found themselves in a very large tunnel. The tunnel was circular and nearly a mile wide. There was no light, but their helmets let them see. The walls of the tunnel were some kind of black rock. Basalt, maybe. Brains? Maddox asked. Which way? Siraven pulled out her omnicorder. The omnicorder was a boxy-looking, all-purpose scanning device. She consulted it for a moment, then pointed.
Down there, about 300 kilometers.
She checked the omnicorder again.
I don't think it's moving. Asleep, maybe?
I guess we'll find out, said Maddox. Let's go. The crew took off. The tunnel wasn't a straight line, but it was so wide, Maddox felt comfortable pouring on the speed. He banked and swerved, following the twists and turns with the primal joy of a man going much faster than he probably should. The captain used the jetpack on the regular, but he rarely got to play with it in an atmosphere, and never quite like this. Maddox had been troubleshooting for 15 years, and the job still took his breath away sometimes. It took nearly 2 hours to reach the gravity worm. All Maddox could see was its ass. The worm took up the entirety of the tunnel. Huge gray plates formed armor around the thing. Orange flesh could be seen under the sections of armor. The worm wasn't tunneling, but it was definitely alive. Its body expanded and contracted slowly.
I believe Brains was correct.
Tov intoned.
The Prim Ulu Crux is sleeping.
Maddox flew a little closer. He saw an opening at the very end of the creature, sticking out from under the last section of plating. It's in for a rude awakening. EM flares! Maddox flicked on the device attached to his belt. The others did the same. His vision flicked off for a moment as the sensors corrected for the interference. The EM flares were Siraven's creation. All they did was emit a large amount of electromagnetic radiation, enough to make them look like big spaceships to the worm. Maddox waited a minute, but the worm didn't react. He sighed. Okay then, guess we're gonna have to wake it up. Tank, you've got the explosives. You want to do the honors?
No, thank you, sir.
Dalton said immediately.
I've gone my whole life without going up anyone's butt. I'd like that streak to continue.
I think this is a job for our fearless leader.
Siraven spoke up. She clapped Maddox on the shoulder. He could hear the grin in her voice.
I concur,
said Arlen Tov.
The plan was yours, was it not?
You all suck, Maddox griped. Tank, give me the satchel. Dalton handed over a duffel bag.
Be careful, Razor,
Siraven told him.
Don't touch the sides. If you tickle the sphincter, it might contract and crush you.
Lovely, the captain muttered. Tank, how deep does this need to go?
The deeper the better, sir,
said the mechanic.
But don't take chances. That satchel's worth 100 tons of TNT. If it's in there at all, the worm will feel it.
Great. Maddox activated his jetpack. If I die in a worm's butt, don't tell anyone.
Are you kidding?
Dalton barked a chuckle.
I'll tell everyone. I'll carve it on your tombstone.
Tank, the captain warned. You are perilously close to being renamed Princess. Maddox carefully made his way into the sphincter. The opening was tiny compared to a mile-wide worm, but it was still big enough to drive a hovercraft through. Maddox flew deeper. He heard Dalton's voice over the comms.
You know,
The mechanic remarked.
looking at it now, I'm starting to think this is a dumb plan.
You humans always have dumb plans.
Tov replied.
You really do.
Siraven agreed.
This one's not even in the top 10.
After about 800 feet, the sphincter started to contract. Maddox debated trying to press further, then decided it was far enough. He tossed the explosive suppository. The sphincter shuddered a little when the satchel landed. Rex spent a terrified moment thinking he'd be crushed in a rectal contraction. The moment passed. The captain flew back out as quickly as he could without touching the sides.
Good work, sir.
Dalton approved. He handed the captain a detonator.
We might want to get some distance before you set it off.
They flew as far as they could before the curve of the tunnel took the worm out of sight. Is 2 miles far enough? Maddox asked.
Should be plenty, sir.
Max informed him. Okay, get airborne. Weapons free. The captain pulled out the Master Blaster. The Master Blaster was the biggest gun he could fire in atmosphere. The MB-219 was a fusion-powered particle cannon. It was so heavy he couldn't lift it without the assistance of his Astreus armor. It could only fire once every 5 seconds, but the ionized particles would put a hole through 2 feet of tungsten. Stand by to fire! Maddox hoisted the MB onto his shoulder. Little clamps locked it in place. A targeting reticle appeared in his hub. Tov pulled out a sniper rifle. Tank hefted a phaser minigun. Siraven tossed a bunch of metal spheres into the air. 8 of the spheres floated in a circle in front of her. The 9th larger sphere floated in the center of the circle. Maddox centered the targeting reticle on the giant worm. Here we go. He pressed the detonator. He saw a gush of liquid come out of the gravity worm. The sound of the explosion reached them 2 seconds later. Fire! Maddox ordered. His Master Blaster sent a lance of blue particles at the creature. Siraven's spheres each shot with a green beam into the sphere in the center, which fired a larger green beam at the worm. Dalton launched a torrent of phaser fire. Tov's sniper rifle fired some kind of projectile that left a trail of fire behind it. The ground rumbled. The gravity worm bucked so hard it crushed upward through the stone. The tunnel in front of it collapsed. Maddox saw cracks appearing above him, too. Go, go, go! He shouted. The Xeno Zappers hightailed it with their jetpacks.
Looks like we got its attention,
Dalton remarked. Massive chunks of rock were breaking off and falling into the tunnel. The Xeno Zappers ducked and dodged and poured on the speed. I hope so, said the captain. I already scratched explosive suppository off my bucket list. I don't need to do it again.
Why is that on your bucket list?
Siraven asked. Why not? The captain countered. They kept flying. The ceiling kept falling, but the Xeno Zappers got ahead of the collapse in a few minutes. They slowed down to wait for the big worm to catch up. Keep an eye out on the rocks, Maddox ordered. It should take the bastard a couple of hours to... The side of the tunnel exploded half a mile behind them. The front of the worm slithered into the tunnel. It stopped. It opened a mouth that could swallow a town. Row after row of sharp teeth formed circles leading down its gullet. The Preem Ulu Krooks released a roar that sent a pressure wave down the tunnel. It was so loud the sound alone would have killed Rex if his Astreus hadn't compensated. Stone cracked as far as the captain could see. Shit! Run! Maddox shouted. He took his own advice, blasting off as quick as he could.
I thought it could only burrow 40 kilometers an hour!
Dalton didn't need to shout to be heard on the comm. He was shouting anyway.
Oh, it must be faster when it's angry,
Tov replied. The gravity worm gave chase. The Xeno Zappers flew fast, faster than was safe. The worm kept up. At least there were no falling rocks this time. Maddox wanted to shoot at it, but he didn't dare turn around long enough to aim his shoulder-mounted cannon. The others took pot shots when they could. They didn't do much damage, but the worm's furious roars meant they were pissing it off. Good. The plan was working. It took less than an hour to reach their entrance shaft. The Xeno Zappers didn't try to navigate it themselves. They surrendered to autopilot and let the void suits get them into the hole. Maddox hated using autopilot, but only an idiot would try to thread his way into a 30-foot shaft at 2 miles an hour manually. The necessary slowdown to get them into the shaft let the worm close in. The Prim Ulu Crux was barely 80 feet behind Maddox when it crashed into the shaft. Stone erupted from the impact as it forced its way up, turning the 30-foot hole into a tunnel a mile wide. A couple of the rocks hit the captain's foot. "Faster!" he yelled, gunning his jetpack's acceleration. "We gotta go faster!"
I take back what I said.
Siraven shouted back.
This is the dumbest plan we've ever had.
It took 20 seconds to clear the shaft. The gravity worm was still underground, but it wouldn't be for long. "Grit!" Captain Maddox yelled over the comm. "Get the torpedoes ready!"
I'm sorry, Captain.
Grit's voice came back.
I can't do that.
"What do you mean you can't do that?" Maddox yelled.
Razor,
Tov sent Maddox a sensor feed.
the Nomad is down.
The Nomad was 200 miles away. The ship was at the end of a long trench of torn-up ground.
The power shorted out again.
Grit explained.
Percussive maintenance isn't working.
Maddox swore.
I told you!
Siraven shouted.
I told you we always crash!
Maddox didn't take time to snark back. "Up!" he ordered. "Everyone straight up as fast as you can! Tank, Plan B!"
Plan B it is, sir!
Tank sounded excited. The crazy bastard. The gravity worm erupted from the ground a few seconds later. Dirt and stone flew in all directions. The worm let out another world-shaking roar as more and more of it tore free of the dirt. Dalton pulled an object off his belt. It was a rounded cylinder, just a little bigger than a football. He fiddled with it for a moment, then dropped it.
Bombs away!
He boomed.
What was that?
Asked Siraven.
It's a nuke!
Dalton told her.
Fission bomb!
Toph demanded.
Because antimatter's too unstable!
Dalton laughed.
I love this job!
Maddox used the sensors to track the bomb. It was a long drop to the worm, and he was worried the wind would carry it off course. He was confused when he saw the nuke change course, heading for the worm's gullet faster than gravity could account for. Then he noticed he was slowing down.
It's pulling us!
Siraven shouted.
I'm losing speed!
"Keep going!" Maddox told her. The Prim Ulu Crux shook free of the moon. The 40-mile-long worm took to the sky, heading straight for Maddox. The Xeno Zappers were already pushing their jetpacks as hard as they could go, but the beast was applying a crushing amount of gravity to slow them down. It was also flying absurdly fast. Maddox was starting to have serious doubts about Plan B. "Detonate the nuke!" the captain ordered.
I can't!
Dalton told him.
It's on a timer!
"A timer?" Maddox swore. "If that thing gets any closer—" Blinding light interrupted him. It was coming out of the worm's mouth. The captain's visor compensated, letting him see the gravity worm rupture. The creature didn't exactly explode, but fire and liquefied flesh burst out of the seams in its armor plates. The gravity pulling Maddox down cut out, and he blasted upwards again. He watched the Prim Ulu Crux fall back into the moon like a giant, flaccid meteor. Maddox cut his acceleration. The gravity worm slammed into the moon with enough force to cause an earthquake. "Brains?" Rex asked hopefully. "Is it dead?" Siraven pulled out her omnicorder.
It's dead.
She reported.
You sure?
Asked Dalton. He hefted another fission bomb.
I've still got one more nuke.
It's dead.
The woman repeated.
Put the fission bomb away.
The Xeno Zappers are victorious again.
Tov intoned.
And again we have done the impossible. Our legend grows.
Not to mention our bank accounts, Captain Maddox grinned. The Vanvari offered a lot of money to save their planet.
That's good,
said Dalton.
I think it's gonna cost a lot of money to fix the ship.
He ran a hand over the back of his armored neck.
We might want to get some upgrades while we're at it. I'm tired of crashing all the time.
Will everyone stop saying that? Maddox asked irritably. We don't crash that much.
Sorry, sir.
The mechanic informed him.
We really kind of do.
Hi, friends. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Xeno Zappers. Click right here for another episode with the same character.